everybody, and welcome to Keefe Auditorium at Elm Street. Is Elm Street here? All the Elm Street 6th graders? And there's Fairgrounds Middle School here. Fairgrounds? And Pennichuck Middle School? Well, welcome to you all. Welcome to Keefe Auditorium. You are sitting in the largest auditorium in the state of New Hampshire. Yep. And you're about to listen to one of only 2 professional orchestras in the state of New Hampshire, so this is really a truly special treat. And my name is Stacy Hines. I work in central office on Ledge Street, and on behalf of our superintendent, Mark Conrad, and our executive director of curriculum and instruction, Althea Sheaf, who are both very busy doing a final interview and very much regret they couldn't be here. But lucky me, I get to be here. And I want to really thank the Nashua Symphony Orchestra Association, its executive director, Eric Vallier, right there. I know you've been working with them all year long, and here you now have your culminating performance. It's just going to be a great special day, very powerful music, and we can't thank conductor Jonathan McPhee enough for visiting with you all and putting on this wonderful performance. So enjoy these pieces of music. It's really a special day for all, and on behalf of the Nashua School District, thank you very much, Jonathan. So we're going to turn it over to Maestro.
Okay, now, as I promised, because all of you we have seen in your schools, and now we're bringing everybody together here. As I promised, we will now deliver the big guns for the programs we were talking about. First of all, I want everyone from the orchestra who came out with me to your schools to stand up so that you can see them. They're all here. Yep. Give them a big round of applause. Now before we start with the program, one of the things we always have to do as an orchestra, because we have 80 people, is we have to make sure everybody's in tune. So our concertmaster, Elliot Marco, will stand up, get an A from our first oboe player, and you have to be very quiet while they make sure that they're in tune. Now you see in the program that we've given you, there's 2 pieces we're going to do today. Both pieces we explored parts of in the school. The first piece is the piece by Mussorgsky called Night on Bald Mountain. If you remember when I was talking to you in the schools, I gave you a little snapshot of what his personality was like. The fact that he really wanted to be a composer and ended up in civil service, ended out in the forestry, and what he really wanted to do was write. Now, whether you write papers for your English class, creative writing, or whether you use notes instead of words, the idea is the same. So he took this story about a witch's Sabbath. And so you see all the let your imagination run wild. Now I've got the whole orchestra. We're going to play the whole piece for you. When we get to the very end, after all the demons have come out in the darkness and the sun comes out at the end, the piece gets very, very quiet, and all is well. Night on Bald Mountain. You saw me give a solo bow to the first clarinet and the first flute because they had big solos near the end. But you know what? I want to give a couple of other people bows that you may not have seen. Harp in the background here. You see at the end we heard the harp. You want to give me a couple of cats? Listen. So it's sort of like the angels come out when the sun comes out at the end. Very nice. And you heard a bell, right, from the steeple in the church. Remember I told everybody in the story that you'd hear that? And the bell was hidden back here. Can you guys walk out a little bit? Come out, second violin, so that I can see it. By the way, there's a hole there. It's a little tight on the stage. And we took a bell, and he hits it with a mallet. Very nice. And we hide him over there so it sounds like the church is far away. All right? Next we have the French horns. Okay, you want to give me a blast on the French horn? Anything. Give me an F major chord. Excellent. And then we'll stay in F major and we'll have two trumpets. You want to give me an F and an A? Concert pitch. See how much brighter it is? So we've gone darker, brighter, and then we're going to have the trombone stand up. FAC. Different sound completely. And I left out Taka playing tuba. And he's going to play an F. And that adds a little bottom to it there. Now, who have I left out here? We got, let's have both of those stand. And would you like to give me an F and an A? Okay. Bassoons. F and an A. I'm staying on the same note so you get the color. And that's a little sinister sometimes. Clarinets. Okay. And then we have the flutes. We have 3 flutes. Actually, 2 flutes and a piccolo, which is a small flute. And Peggy's showing off that she's the one that's the loudest. And then we have all these violins over here. Violins, can you just play me the last chord that you've got? First and seconds. What is it? F? No, it's an A. A and an A. Here we go. And a D. Very quiet sound. Okay, we have cellos. Low F. And to get a little more depth, basses, F. They're a whole octave below. So that gets a little buzz going up here. And I've left out the 4 violas in the middle here. Can you play an A? And they're what we call our rich, mellow violins. Okay, so having said that, we're going to go into the last movement of Tchaikovsky. This is the only movement when we came out to the schools that I didn't give you a little snapshot of because you need everybody. Remember, Tchaikovsky, this is one of the last pieces that he wrote. He thought that he was out of ideas. It's a rich symphony with lots of ideas, but we finally get to the end, and think drama. This guy is at the height of his power, so he creates the scene for you. There's no story, but there's real personality, and that's important to remember. So, 2 things. One is, if you have this program, very special, on the back of it, it says, 2 tickets for the price of 1. Take this home to your mom and dad, and we urge you, if you want to come back and hear the whole program, which is spectacular, you get a special deal with this one. So take it home, all right? And now, Tchaikovsky's 5th Symphony, last movement, and hopefully I'll have time to take a couple of questions from you at the end. So listen to what's going on, and if you have a question, remember it. There's one instrument that I did not mention before we did this because he's so prominent in this. And that's Jeff playing the timpani. Jeff, can you give me a big... That gives us a lot of firepower in the bottom there. And so I wanted to save him for last so that you could actually hear him in action first. Now, it was a pleasure going to your schools with a small number of people from the orchestra to give you a little bit of an idea of how these pieces work, how they come from your mind. Your imagination is the key. From your imagination, if you happen to write music, this is what can come out of it. And they can use this for film scores to punctuate music, punctuate visuals on movies as well. And that's probably where most of you would run into a full symphony orchestra, is at a movie theater. Don't forget, though, we're here, and we're here for you. We'd love to see you come to the concert on Saturday. Take little green sheets home. And I said we had a couple of minutes at the end for questions. Does anyone have a question they'd like to ask of the orchestra? Put your hand up. Yeah. What's the highest note that can be played? Let's see here. This is tough. Probably piccolo. Can you give me a run up there, Peggy? I see. Okay. And then there are actually some, let's see, she's the loudest and highest. That's a trick question. The violins can do harmonics and go pretty high up there as well. But highest, lowest, tuba might be lower. Depends on what tuba. They have different size tubas too. Okay, another question? Yes, you're gonna have to shout at me. Stand up. What's the biggest instrument in the whole orchestra? Well, in the string section, it would be these guys over here, the double basses. See that? Yeah, see, I thought you couldn't see them. In the brass, I think probably the tuba. How many feet, Taka, do you have in there? 35? 25. Okay. 25 feet of plumbing rolled up in that tuba. Okay? Last question, there's a hand up on the corner here. You have to stand up and shout to me. Yeah. Oh, come here. Quick, come on up. All right, now this was a very important question. The young man, and I'll find out who he is in a second, come on up, asked, when I'm swinging my arms, does it mean anything? Come on up. If you would ask most of the orchestra members, they first will joke and say, no. In truth, there are a couple of things that happen here. One is, my right hand, what's your name? Kofi? Okay. Oh, I remember you. Yeah, okay. My right hand will keep beats for them. So go like this, Kofi. Go like that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Again? Do it again. Go. And one. And one. Okay. Wait. Okay, now orchestra turn to molto menemoso just before the end. All I have to do is go 1, 2. I'm going to give you the stick. Okay, stand up for everyone. Wait! You have to be very quiet. This takes a lot of concentration. Now, Kofi, just get a feel for how they react to you. Go like that. You should have seen his face. It was great. Okay, now do it really hard like that. Okay, wait. Now do it. So we get dynamics. If you go soft like that, they play soft. If you go like that, they play loudly. Now, put your left hand up there. No, stick in the right hand. This is where it gets complicated. This one goes in there, okay? So we're gonna go, bam. Ready, everybody? Okay, now with your left hand, we're gonna open it up and do one of those. Okay? And watch what happens. So this is hard. za, like that, okay? Try it. Okay, Toby is getting his first lesson in conducting. It's a lot of fun, but there are a lot of things, like if you sneeze, what do you think will happen? No, they won't sneeze. No, that was a trick. Okay, so one more time. Do that, keep your left hand up, hold them, and then with your left hand, cut them off. Okay, go. Sixth graders. In parting, what you've just witnessed is this is a living, breathing thing called an orchestra with people. Kofi just had his first experience in making music with an orchestra. This is your orchestra. We're here for you. We love coming into your schools. I love even more having you all come here today to witness what the full orchestra can do. Thank you for being such a great audience. And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you once again. Thank you once again.